Right, 12 October 2024, and today I'm joined by a special guest who is here to respond to all the allegations that have been made by Tinashe Jonasi, who has claimed that he joined the CIO and he has made a lot of damaging allegations over the past few weeks. And I have received a request to respond by the deputy chairperson of Assist ED, Mr. Elias Masuku. Mr. Elias Masuku.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm giving you the floor to introduce yourself and to describe what you want to say before I ask you any questions.
Right. It's like Elias Masuku. I met Jonasi sometime last year when we were preparing for the elections, and Jonasi had Assist ED with Comrade Maponga. Comrade Maponga was the Secretary General, and I was chosen to be the national coordinator. But later on, when we had the elections, I was chosen to be his vice chairperson. That was late last year. So I worked with Jonasi until and when we dissolved the association due to the fact that Jonasi was insolvent. We wanted to open accounts, and he had made that he was going to have we were going to have a dinner for the president, whereby I've got the papers here. These are the papers which he was purporting that he was going to hold a dinner for the president, and the amount he had said he wanted to chip from other people was almost about 67,900 USD. And his tables were tabled that row number 1 was going to be paid 2,000 per table, row number 2, 4,000 per table, row number 3, 6,000 per table, and row number 4, 8,000 per table, and row number 5 was 10,000 per table. So he wanted to exhaust to get money from people, and these allegations. Tinashe, I am the one who recruited Tinashe and other people because he had no membership. It was himself being the Assist DED chairperson, and no members were there. But due to the fact that I had joined him, due to the fact that he wanted to host the president, we wanted to support the event. So most of the people joined the Assist DED in the pretext that he was going to hold the big men's event. So when we got in, people were paying $30 per card. The card he has shown to about Tinashe T1. T1 didn't pay for those cards. That's why he's still holding it. He said, no, I can't pay $30 per card because he had brought 10 members who had joined Assist ED. So he said, I can't pay $300 for this small card which can be made for $1. So that's why he remained with that card, which you saw on the screen. So Tinashe Jonasi, it's like Jonasi being a small boy, he failed to live in South Africa. Then he came here, ZANU-PF as a father, they just accommodated him as anybody. He was never, and the CIO of Zimbabwe is not a kindergarten organization where one can just join without training, without anything. I think, Comrade Gambakwe, you are an educated person, you understand the intelligence of Zimbabwe. They can't just pick somebody from nowhere and then they say you are a CIO. That's blue lies. And at the same time, I think even a child can always understand that there's nothing like that which can happen in Zimbabwe. And, I presided, I know Jonasi in and out. I presided his marriage failure with Joy. Joy is the one who was making all those scripts, which made him to be understood and known. Because Jonas is just a lazy bastard. He doesn't understand. He wants to exhaust and do things to happy. If you fail to pay him, that's when he blackmails. He's just a blackmailer. And I presided. At one time, the wife phoned me around 12 o'clock and told me that Jonasi was about to stay there. And I asked Jonasi, why are you doing it? He said, no, if she doesn't leave the room right now at 12 noon, at 12 o'clock midnight, I will kill him, then I'll kill myself. I took almost about 4 hours trying to solve their problem, and I think if that script, if there's I think I've got that clip. And what happened? They finally divorced, but the divorce was caused by Tinashe, because Tinashe is just a lazy person who cannot work. And from that time, when the woman went out of his life, that's when he started to try to find money from people. And he was saying he wanted to have the president dinner. So people joined the organization. And whilst we have seen that he was embezzling the funds of the public, people, it's like we had a setup of all the provinces. We had chairpersons and vice chairpersons and treasurers. And all those people, at times, they could come for a meeting at in St. Martin's there. That's where our office was. We had been given an office by some members of the assist-ED. And that I've got pictures. I will send you pictures. I've got pictures whereby all comrades were there. I've got pictures where all comrades were there. And the account failed due to the fact that when we went to CBZ, when we wanted to open an account so that people could put the money for the proposed dinner, the guys at the CBZ, they said, no, you can't open an account when this name Tinashe Jonas is within. Then I asked why. He said, no, he's insolvent. Why? Because he is staying at Madokero, where Madokero has got almost about 9 months not paying rent. And when the people, the owners of the flat tried to ask him, he said, CIO operative, what, until and when he was driven to Central Police Station, where he was cautioned and they to leave him. But Tinashe Jonasi is just a smart man who tells lies. And this issue I heard about T1 is all liars. He wanted himself on a certain date. I still remember Jonasi told T1 that they wanted to manipulate the opposition, so that he said, go and find where he talked. Then I'll try and put him that he raped. So I don't know what transpired. Tinashe T1 said, no, I can't do that. And Jonasi was purporting that he wanted some funds. So I and Tinashe, he told me, no, I had promised with court and so forth. Then he went alone. When he came back, he told me that, no, Baba, nyati nayo panapa ndeye kuti nduda ku blackmaila opposition. Ndaenda wana clip yokutaura yaakataura. Ndoda kuti ndione ndipedze naye. I know Scott will win. Then he asked for almost about 10,000 from Scott, and Scott said, I can't pay that. Otherwise, he was not talking to Scott. He was talking to Tinashe T1, because T1 we had been asked to lead the Harare province. So by so doing, we were doing all these things in Harare. So he was the chairperson of Harare province. And of what he was saying, I used to have Tinashe most of the time. At Crown Plaza, you know, big people, they usually come there. And, you know, Tinashe being somebody who is not normal. He could go there. Can I have a Coke? Can I have all this manipulation of the Collins and other people? They could just give him a Coke or something like that. And I didn't know he was going to go that far after having been given assistance with other people who could see that this guy is failed. Tinashe doesn't have even a chair in Zimbabwe. So people, we could see that he was somebody who was not able to produce anything in his life. So we were helping. I'm one of the people who was helping him. And at one time, there's a lady by the name Chikukwa. She's the one who was driving him up and down. And when we dismantled this organization, he had part ways with Chikukwa. And I told him, you can't do that to somebody who has been helping you for a period, giving you assistance in moving to where you wanted to go without even paying any petrol or anything. So Tinashe is just somebody who fails. I think you understand. During the time when he was here in Zimbabwe, he was talking a lot about you, Gambake, because he wanted to some money from you so that you didn't give him. That's why he was blackmailing you while he was in Zimbabwe. He's somebody who wants to blackmail people in most of his times. But Tinashe was never a CIO operative. It's only that he just joined ZANU-PF as anybody. You know, we have got other people here in Zimbabwe. We've got other people who are coming back to the party, which is the father. ZANU-PF is the father because it's a unified party, which is unity between all these tribes in the country. So when he came and said no, he wanted to join, and his uncles had to plead that he was now going to be somebody who was going to be a good person. So we didn't know that he could go that far. From what I've been saying, I think if you can look at this paper, this is the amount he wanted. You can see that 67,900. So we wanted to open an account so that all people could do. He could go around asking people to make sure that they put their monies in this one. Because he had said snacks 10,000, PA system 3,000, decorations 5,000, film crew 4,000, performers 12,000, mic 5,000, fuel almost about 10,000, tires, lunch, Wi-Fi 1,000, and the vision the vision for the video was 10,000. So he wanted to steal money from people. So people were quite aware of him, and because Comrade Maponga was now making a film in South Africa. So people were contented if Comrade Maponga was there, but now that Tinashe was alone and he was telling people that he wanted to have a Crown Plaza dinner, and you know, he was just lying. So he's just a liar. That Jonasi is a liar. I think at the same time, 2 weeks ago, I understand, because after this clip, I tried to ask people. 2 weeks ago, he called, I understand, he called Scott and said he needed money so that he could get him a story. I don't know what story he wanted to give to Scott, but I understand. Scott said, no, I can't take it. I can't talk, because he has been smearing bad things to the president, the VP, and other people. So he didn't want to talk to him. So that's why he came up with this program. But I am telling the truth. If he was a savior, he was not going to tarnish the image of the opposition member who was supposed to contest Scott. So because Scott didn't pay him, that's why he's making these false allegations.
Okay, so Mkoma, I understand what you're saying. So I think for those who just joined, you are Mr. Elias Masuku, and
Yes.
you were the deputy president of Assist ED. The organization became so big that it was national. You had branches everywhere, and you are saying you are the one who set it up. It was not Jonasi. Jonasi was only the first, but you actually helped him to set it up.
Yes.
Okay, so why do you think Jonasi is doing what he's doing?
Jonasi is doing what he's doing because he was thinking that he was going to be given money after elections. Because, you know, as a ZANU-PF person, like anybody else, he was campaigning for the party. I think you, Gambakwe, you understand, he was giving scripts, he was doing all sorts of things and telling, even there's a time when you interviewed him and he told you more stories. So by so doing, he thought the government and the party was going to pay him, but which is not it. We all campaigned, but we were not paid. It's not all about paying, it's all about sovereignty.
Okay.
So I think
okay, let's go to why he was allowed to go into the houses of big people, high-level, high-ranking people in government. Why was he allowed to go into the house of DG, the house of the sons, the twins? Why was he allowed to have that access?
Right. That's that. If he can produce any picture whereby he can say, this is the picture when I was in the DG's office, I think I'll be glad, and I could even try and fork out 10,000 and give you. And secondly, if he does have a picture whereby he says, I was in Colin's house, then surely I can be in a position of giving you 10,000. But the thing is, he has got pictures whereby he could meet these personalities in hotels, at functions, in other places, not in their houses. Yes, I understand. You know, I want to tell you something, Gamapi. It's like I found your number today. I did find the number. I'm the one who started talking to you. The same can apply. I can always find where you stay right now. The same applied to Jonasi. Jonasi could find the addresses he has been talking about, but definitely if he does have a picture whereby he was with the DG at his house, like what you were saying, or at his offices, then he should produce one. Then I think I'll be glad about it, and I'll be in a position to give him 10,000.
Okay, then he said he had an office and he has named his boss in the CIO. Is that not true?
That's Elias. We had an office together at St. Martin's, and this office was being paid by a well-wisher, Comrade Simra, who was paying for the offices because we were preparing for the president's dinner. Otherwise, if that was not the case, we could not have done that. And Comrade Mapunga, I will send you pictures whereby the entire executive and Comrade Mapunga, we had some shots together. I can always send them to you at any given time. And what I'm trying to give you now is the correct information. And the day I just parted ways with Jonasi, it was true that he was trying to embezzle the funds which had been paid by the people. Tinashe T1 paid $100 to open an account, and he took the money and squandered it. And when we were discussing, that's where we couldn't meet, and that's when we parted ways. And this one can always be witnessed by the admin who was driving him all the way from all his corners until they parted ways as well. And I understand from that clip, he was saying he had some ladies who were operatives in the CIO. That's black lies. That never happened. I know the women.
Okay. Definitely. I think it's hard to talk for people who are not here, and I will probably have to ask them myself, because I met them myself when I was in Harare. So I think what you're saying, we must stay with focus on what you're saying, which is to say, Tinashe is actually not telling you the truth or not telling people the truth, but
Yes.
you know what happened because you are the one who was in charge of the organization. Tell me about the dismissal of Tinashe. There was a dismissal letter sent by Maponga last year, dismissing Tinashe from Assist ED. What happened there?
Because Comrade Maponga was filming a film in South Africa. If you still remember.
Yes.
Yes. So I and Jonasi are the people who were running the organization. But Mr. Maponga, being the Secretary General, was busy. And when this happened, I had to call Comrade Maponga and told him that Tinashe had misused the monies for the people. One. Secondly, he had tarnished the image of assisted because it's assisted. So what happened is I called Comrade Maponga and I told him everything, what had transpired, and all the people who were within assisted. I changed it to NED, which was National Empowerment Development. So Mr. Maponga, if he wrote that letter to Jonasi, because he had seen that he was going to be messed up. So that's why I think the letter was written so that he could be excused. Because myself, I excused myself. He called me when I was at Holiday Inn, and the admin whom he was moving with can always witness that Mr. Masuku told Jonasi that Jonasi, I can't work with you from this hour. Forget about me. If you are going to have your CCD, you can proceed. I'm not going to take anybody who cannot account for $1, while he wants to collect more than $60,000 from the people for a certain purpose. Definitely. Otherwise, if he cannot account for $10, how can he account for $67,000? So that's why I left.
Okay. So, Mkoma, I think what you're saying is clear. Obviously, I did not call Tinashe here because I wanted you to describe everything that you're saying. Is there anything here that I've left or that you think we've not covered?
That I think we have not covered. I told you about the divorce.
Yes, I know the lady in question, and
yes.
I don't know about the one that was driving him around. Is that the wife or the one who was driving him? Was that the girlfriend? What happened?
No, she was not. He wanted to make sure that she could be a girlfriend, and this woman denied. That's why when we were trying to put the organization to make the executive, I said this woman has been in the association and driving you. We want her to be the admin. Then she said no, she can't. Then I said, why? The treasurer. He said, no, she can't. Until and when I talked to the lady, and she told me that Jonasi wanted me to be one of his fields. So I refused. So that's why, because I could not see the reason why he didn't want somebody who has been providing him assistance in transport and other things. I was just perplexed and mesmerized. So until and when I was saying, well, what really transpired? It took me some weeks until and when this woman told me that no, Jonasi was trying to make some efforts of making me his girlfriend. Then I denied. So that's why, because she's the one who was taking care of Jonasi. Jonasi is a lazy person. He cannot even buy a bread. So she was looking after her because she had the saloon and other things.
Okay. And the wife, have you ever met her?
The wife, I used to be with her. Today, it's like, that's why I said, today, I just talked to you and you gave me today. But I think I will have to unearth most of the information because today it was just a few hours. So I could not put all my cards on the table. But I think the day you will say, let me meet Tinashe one-on-one, I think I'll be having everything on my table.
Okay. I understand, Mkoma, and obviously it's important for us not to tarnish people's image and also to find the truth. So I don't have any reason to tarnish anyone's image. So we will obviously bring Tinashe on another day with you to cover all the issues. Because the one point that I wanted to clarify is, one, he said he's got an office. He said he was being paid a salary. He said who his boss was. Then he also said he went into the houses of certain high-level people. I've also seen him with some very senior ZANU-PF officials. For example, I've seen him with Obet Mpofu. I've seen him with quite senior officials who I don't want to mention here. He would spend hours and hours with those people. And that is what's surprising me. Why you would be given that access.
Let me tell you on that one. Can I tell you on that one?
Yes.
Right. I said ZANU-PF has got open hands to everybody who supports it. I myself, I'm just a member of a cell, but I can always be into the HQ, and they have all those Obet Mpofus and others. They can always entertain me, because when I am supporting the party, like in this case, and you understand very well that we have got other people who are coming from various oppositions come back into the party. Those people, they can always be accommodated even by the president or by anybody, because the party is just as free as anything. I want to tell you something. Jonasi, as you understand him, he is into social media. So by the time when he was making his scripts using his wife, of course, they could meet all those big people, and those big people could see that this guy is doing this and that. So he was more or less trying to campaign for ZANU-PF, which has got big people who can campaign more than Tinashe Jonas. Jonas is just a small boy in politics. You understand, ZANU-PF has come from 1963 and is still running, and after Unit Accord, when it was more, it had more power than what Jonasi is. Jonasi is just a small boy. It's only that he was entertained because he is somebody who was saying he was going to contribute better textures, not in the CIO, not in the government, but as just a party card holder member.
Okay, I think it's clear what you've said, and we also need to make sure that, as I said, we don't tell lies about people. So I'll make sure that we check. I've talked to Linda Masarira. She refused to come here. I've talked to Anna, and she refused to come here. I think those are the two people that we named. We're going to look for Starman Chamisa, and we're also going to look for Joanna Mamumbe. And I'll confirm these stories that he said about them. I think it's very important to confirm. And also what you're saying is very important, that he's trying to blackmail Scott Sapwanya. Yesterday, I talked to Scott Sapwanya. When we're live here, I talked to Scott Sapwanya. And as I said in the past, I don't think the murder was ordered by Scott Sapwanya. And also here you heard that Jonasi did confirm that there was no order. So I want us to make sure that we say the truth the way it is, but also to give Jonasi the benefit of what he's saying, because he's coming out and saying he's exposing what is happening. And they're saying it's not an exposure, it's actually a blackmail.
Yes.
Okay. So what now? What are you planning to do now you have put out this information. What are you planning to do? Are you planning to stop him from continuing? He says he's going to produce more information. Are you stopping him? What are you planning to do?
We cannot plan for somebody who is somewhere insane. We cannot plan for a mad person. You can only plan for somebody who is normal. So because a mad person, you can always say, let me plan this way, but he comes the other way. So what I'm saying, we are prepared to make sure that Jonasi, whatever he's going to say, we are going to prove it wrong by telling the world about him. And I understand, like what I've always said, one day when I was with him, I know definitely he was talking ill about you. There was a lot of rubbish he was talking about you and all about these opposition members. But now he was from there and now he has joined them. So he's doing the same thing he was telling us. So he's now blackmailing those people who wanted to help him now just because they didn't give him what he wanted. Because a lazy man doesn't want to work. He wants to get things from Mahara.
Okay, I get that, and Mkoma, myself, I don't take what you're saying lightly. I take it very seriously, and when it comes to the twins, I don't want to involve them in anything of what is happening now. And so normally you've never seen me talking about the children or anyone who is not in politics. So normally I talk about the people that are in politics. And I'm sure that when Jonas comes, I will obviously try to make sure that he sticks to the people who are in politics and also on the political issues. In terms of what he said about the structure of the government, that it's actually not a government, but it's a family affair. What is your view on that?
You know what, Gambakwe? The thing is, how old were you when there was this Odisha was there?
Very small. A child.
Very small. So let me tell you something. There was the Prime Minister Ian Douglas Smith.
Yes.
We had David Smith. We had John Smith. Those were within the government. Meaning to say, if somebody has got the qualities and the professionalism of a certain job, I am Masuku. I've got an organization whereby there are 2 children of mine within the organization because I want the organization to prosper. And at the same time, that what he's trying to bring home is just nothing, because all those family members of the first family who are within the government, they have got the qualifications. They have got the qualifications for the post that they are holding. So I see no reason why one should try and point fingers at somebody who is qualified and who is capable of handling the position he or she might be handling. It's not all about familyhood. It's all about who is going to perform, who is going to deliver.
Okay.
So
right.
the other
I get it.
So the other thing is, okay, you can go ahead.
Yeah, the thing is, I just want you to wrap up so that people don't get lost. What you are saying is you are denying everything that Tinashe Jonas is saying. You are denying his influence that he said he's got, or that he said he had. You are saying he was not in CIO, and everything that he's been saying is because he wanted to blackmail. I think that is the basic of what you're saying.
That's the best. And what I want to tell you, Assist ED was not his baby. It was Maponga's baby. 1. He was only brought into Assist ED because Maponga was filming a film in South Africa. If Maponga was in, I think all this shit could not have taken place. Right?
Yeah.
And at the same time, hello?
Yes, I'm here. I'm here.
Right? And at the same time, I'm saying, as I have said, that ZANU-PF, which is the national father, can accommodate anybody. And the first family sons, which he is pointing out, they Gambakwe, let's suppose you meet me in South Africa, I come to South Africa, then you say, Mr. Masuku, I tell you, I lost a ticket. Or I say, I had no lunch yesterday. Can't you give me something to eat? Then if you give me those people who say, I am Gambakwe, a Spartan person.
No.
No, it's like, you see, but Jonas, I want to stress this one. If you are capable of analyzing Jonasi, to be frank, I've been with him, and he is emotional. He can just change his mood at any given time. For at one time, I want to tell you another story. At one time, when we were coming from a bank, you know, he met other, you know, the security asking for papers from another shop. You know, he took the papers, turned the papers, said, yes, CC, your CC people, why do you want money? You know, he's just a mad person. I can't explain more about him. He's just a mad person. He doesn't know where he is coming from, where he is, or where he's heading to. Now that he's telling these stories, he thinks that the Western countries or other people can give him money so that he can survive, but he can not work for himself.
Okay. Yeah, those are very strong words. And I think what we should do is let's let everyone digest what you've said. And then I will invite Mr. Tinashe Jonas with you so that you can challenge him on what he has been saying. I also want you, Mkoma, to know that when I went to Zimbabwe, I went into the ZANU-PF head office.
Yes.
And I also talked to some people, but I never had access to any senior official of ZANU-PF. I never had access to any son of the president or any person that can be saying is as good a position in ZANU-PF. Maybe the spokesperson of ZANU-PF, I talked to him, but I've never had access to those top level people in ZANU-PF. It's very difficult to get hold of those people. That's the only thing that concerns me about the situation with Jonasi, how he got so close to all these people who are very high level.
Jonasi is a cousin to some people in Masvingo. And you understand, he comes from Masvingo.
Yes.
So you said patient names.
Yeah.
There's a big man who is a big man in the country, who happens to be his uncle, is one of the people who made Jonasi to be understood by people, because he said Jonasi is now somebody who has come out of the bed shell and is now wants to work with us as ZANU-PF. We are just members. We are card holders, and Jonasi was just a card holder. I'm telling you the truth, because Jonasi, I am one of the people who could give him a dollar for a ride to Madokero, because he was just and he's saying he was on salary. Can you can't you just ask him to show you a slip, because all government officials have got pay slips.
Yeah. True. I think that is important.
Let me tell you something. The card he was showing is for Assist ED, an organization which was supposed to be an affiliate, was an affiliate of ZANU-PF. Then you tell me somebody who is within the CIO, he doesn't have even a document he can show you. He doesn't have even a space slip, and he cannot even mention the department he was working on. He's talking of information, because people will understand that he's a social media stupid. So he can always say I was within the information, but definitely he was never. If he had been on salary, he should show you a payslip. If he was an operative, he should show you the identity. And when did he go for the training of being a CIO? You Gambakwe, you understand Jonas. When did he come to Zimbabwe? And how long did you not find him within the space of social media so that he could have gone for training?
Okay, he said he refused the training.
So how could they accommodate him?
No, it's okay. As I said to you, I don't think that the problem is what you're saying. I believe you. I know Tinashe more than you know him. I spend
Yes,
more
I know.
time with Tinashe
I
than
know.
most people.
Yes.
And what I'm saying is my only concern, and you must address it, Mgoma. Why
I will
these
try.
top level people allowed Tinashe into their circle? And you said it's because of the relative, but I think Ipapo Ndopagatika mistake. The top level guys, I think they're also trying to take advantage of Tinashe because mistake was so much access, even to the level of being so much inside. If you hear what Tinashe is talking about, it's scary to think that an ordinary person can have so much access into the security apparatus of the country. I think many people are alarmed, especially those who are in security. If you are saying he's not intelligence, why he has so much access to names, events, people? That is where the concern is.
Right. Let me tell you something. You see, this event I've been talking about, this event of the president dinner.
Yes.
You cannot do it without going through some operatives so that they understand why do you want to hold the dinner and what type of dinner will it be. Has it been processed within the party? If everybody understood, so by so doing, he could meet big people, ask him questions about the dinner or anything else. Because I understand, I have been telling you that the girl he said was blind. I know it. I know the story. He was using that lady to get money so that he could have a living out of that blind woman.
Okay.
He was abusing that girl.
Okay. Okay. I think I've got one more question.
You can go ahead.
Okay. Then Minister Garwe, Tinashe mentioned that he was supposed to be given something for campaigning for him. He says he did a lot of campaigns for my ministers, and eventually they did not give him what they promised. I don't know if you remember that story in the last episode I had with Tinashe. Is it common for ministers to get assistance? Well, he mentioned quite a lot of ministers. Minister Garwe
Right.
mentioned the Scott. He mentioned
Yes.
He managed a lot of people assisting them with their campaigns, and they did not come back to give them what they promised.
Comrade Gambakwe, I think if you can peruse your brains and your history, you can always find some clips where Tinashe was being a social media what he was trying. He was putting across and telling the world that the Chamisas were what bad what. So he might have taken that one as campaigning for the party or campaigning for the people. I understand, due to the fact that he was somebody who is sweet and who is nasty when that sweet he has given people is not, cannot get what he expects. He is somebody whom he is, if you say, tomorrow I'll give you $2, if you don't give him $2, definitely he will tarnish you to the last point of his tarnishment. So I understand what you are saying. How could one person campaign for so many ministers at one given time, while we had one election? So it's like I might not deny that, because he might have been doing that during, but during my time, I only understood that Tinashe was helping us as ZANU-PF, as I told you that I'm a card carrier and he was a card carrier. We could go to places saying ZANU-PF is okay, which was being done by more than 5 million people in Zimbabwe. It was not, as I have told you, we have got better social media people within ZANU-PF than Jonas. Jonasi was only taken on board by Assist ED and other members, and Joshua Maponga and us, who were saying, like on my own prescription, I can say I was saying, we have a prodigal son.
Okay.
On my own, I was calling a prodigal son, and at times I wanted to tell you something. He could even call during that there. I was almost somebody who wanted to mold him into a better life, pertaining politics, pertaining business, pertaining social understanding. Even if he wants to be frank, he can always tell you that Gambakwe, that old man who was talking, I could phone even at 12 o'clock. I could tell him, I'm there. Because I was born a politician. My parents were politicians, so I understand the politics very well, and I don't mess up with politics like what he does, and that's why most of the time I could caution him. And at one time, like what you are saying, he could just be emotional for no specific reason, and I could tell him, Jonasi, don't do this, don't do this, don't do that, and all sort of advice I could give you.
Okay. So I think from my side, what I've taken out from this discussion, Mkoma, is that Assist ED became very strong as an organization. And I think you played a big part, and also Maponga played a big part. Assist ED became very prominent, and it helped a lot in the campaign. You agree with me that this is a fact, that you worked a lot with Assist ED.
Yes, and I agree.
He did a lot.
And he took advantage of that.
Okay. And then the other part I wanted to also say was that Jonasi became much more mature when we saw Jonasi, and that is why many people are listening to Jonasi. The old Jonasi that we know, Aikakama, and talking fast and talking a lot of things. And the one that we're seeing now is very different. So are you saying this is because of your guidance that Jonasi became like that, or it is being around security people?
No, I molded Jonasi. I can always bring people who can witness that this 67-year-old guy tried to mold this young person who was almost wild. Because Jonasi could be wild at any given time. You could say, Jonas, let's feed here, and then in a short space of time, you could throw spoons away from the feeding place. He is somebody who is just, I can say he's a bit mentally disturbed, because he is too emotional and he doesn't quantify his emotions, and at times he just does things you can't even understand.
Okay, Saka, what do we do now? If we try to talk to him, if we try to give him counseling, what is the solution given the current situation?
The solution is like what I said. You can only take a horse to the river, but you cannot make it drink. Jonasi, when he came back to Zimbabwe, and when he said to himself, he was now repentant, he had joined us as ZANU-PF members, we thought he could be somebody who could have repented. But now that he has gone out and saying stupid things more than what he used to do, we can see that this guy, he is just somebody who will die like that. We want him to be molded, but from my point of view, and from my previous experience with Jonasi, I can see that he is somebody who needs a divine solution. When I'm talking of divine solution, you know, the only God who created him is the only person who can try and make him understand all what is supposed to be said. And, you know, blackmailing somebody is like killing somebody. Like what he was saying that You know, that T1 is just, if you meet him, you'll have to meet him sometime. He's just a gentleman. And at the same time, he is the one who said, Shamari nyaya uri kutaura yokuti inini kutsvagire clip remukomana weopposition kuti blackmail tigokupa mari ndo akati inini I can blackmail this man ndogona voice rake ndori mixer kuti aite vhanika munhu akarepa just like that. Then T1 said no, I cannot take that one. Even nyaya yamagaya yanga achitaura yai it's only because aida akanga achienda kuna magaya. Inini ndinoziva Jonas, vanhu vangataura zvaJonas, in Jonas nandiri vice chairperson wake. I know him and I know his failures and I know his strength. His strength is in the talking, but he's a failure like Okonko in all his endeavors. So aenda kuna prophet pagaya achida kuti anzi screen zvinhu zvavanenge vachiita. Then he had better people than Jonasi. So Jonasi was something which he could not take. So that's why he's painting black on him. He's Gambakwe. I know you understand him because you have been staying with him. I know you know that what I'm trying to bring home is the truth. I've got some guys. I've got a friend of mine who had joined assisted who was from South Africa. A friend of mine, like he said, we don't want to talk names. He asked me for $10, and when he flew to South Africa and didn't give him the $10, he came to me and said, "Scratch this one. He's not good. You know, he's in South. When is in South Africa? He does A, B, C, D." Then I said, "No, we cannot change people position like pens. Jonasi, be a man." So I'm the part and parcel who has made Jonasi to be him, to be what he is today.
Okay, so I think, Mkoma, we have covered a lot, and I appreciate all that which you have said here. I like to be balanced with everything that we're doing, and I'm not accusing anyone because I don't know. I actually don't know any of these things that are being said. So I would like to let you go now. Is there anything you want to say before you leave, Mkoma?
I think I have done all about everything, and what I want to tell the world who are going to help Jonasi in the near future, you should understand that Jonasi is just a lazy person. If you don't give him what he wants, he will blackmail you. So if you want not to be blackmailed, don't refrain from having Jonasi around you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mkoma Elias Masuku. So that is your name, right?
Yes, that's my name.
Okay, so currently is ZANU-PF, do you have a position or you are still in assist ED?
No, we disbanded assist ED, and by that time I'm within the artisanal mining.
Okay, thank you very much, Mkoma. I'll come there for you to train me to be a miner.
I'm the national coordinator.
Okay. No, that's great. Thank you very much, Mkoma. I will give you a chat and then we'll come back again with Jonasi so that you can together map a way forward and address these issues, these allegations, so that we don't have the wrong information out there.
Yes, I think that would be good. And you should tell me a few days before so that I can try and prepare. And I can always, what I want you to do is I will bring 2 or 3 people on the day so that you cannot hear from me alone. I'll give you people who can try and open up the minds of the people so that they can understand what type of Jonasi we are having and what type of Jonasi the world is having.
Thank you very much, Mkoma, and I'll talk to you again very, very soon.
Thank you.
Right. I think we've covered everything, and this was quite long. As you know, tomorrow is a big news day, so I need to be gone. But before I go, I've got an important story that has taken place, and this is a community interest story. This is something that we've just been given today. So Jameson High School in Kadoma is a popular school, and this school has got both boys and girls in Form 1 to Form 6. And recently there has been an incident where the child of a senior police officer, 20 years old, in Form 6, has raped a student who is a girl, and she's Form 4 and 16 years old. The police are refusing to arrest the 20-year-old boy, who is the son of a high-ranking police officer. We are going to reveal the name very, very soon. However, we're giving the chance to the minister here, Moyo, and the SDA of Jameson High School to address the situation. They've taken the boy and the girl, and they're treating them all equally as if they committed the same offense, whereas it is well known that the girl was raped by this 20-year-old boy, who is the son of a high-ranking police officer. And last week, they were taken to the police, and they've all been returned to the school to write exams starting on Monday. I've been talking to the headmaster this afternoon, and he is not willing to provide details that we are asking for. So all I'm saying is this issue should be addressed, the raping of a young girl by a senior Form 6 student who is a son of a police officer, senior officer of the police in Zimbabwe. That is not acceptable. I think this needs to be addressed, and I hope to see that the minister, I hope that this minister is the one responsible for the secondary schools in Zimbabwe. And if you've got a child at Jameson High, this should be quite concerning, because this boy has done it before, according to the information that we've got. So I'll keep you updated on what happens with this case. Jameson High School, 20-year-old boy has raped a girl, 16 years old, and other boys were involved in the incident. And we're just awaiting to see what happens, because the boy has been returned to the school at the same place where this happened, and all the children are aware of this situation. And he was someone who was in university, was sent back to high school. And this is something very unacceptable. And I just want to bring this to your attention, especially the parents that have got children at Jameson High School. So I want to bring this to an end. In Mozambique, the counting is taking place, and we're starting to see a greater balance in the results. So by tomorrow, we'll be able to get more information. The team of Sekuru Venanzio Mondlane is very confident that they're going to win, but they have been told not to communicate with media at the moment. So I'm not going to have a presidential candidate Venanzio here anytime soon until the issues are resolved. But what I said about numbers of people that have voted being more than the number of people in the districts has been reported by the EU today. So you will see that there is that report. And also SADC has said it is disagreeing with the EU. So there's a big disagreement going on about the numbers of people that have voted. So the counting is taking place. We should have a proper answer by the end of the week on who is going to win. But certainly, this candidate has done very, very well in this election. Former banker Venanzio Mondlane has done very, very well. And I think his party is Podemos. Is doing very, very well right now in all the counting in the cities. Young people voting for a new candidate. So I'd like to thank all of you. I'll see you again tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. as I give you the daily news. Thank you very much for watching.